All right. Hey, we are starting a new unit here for wildlife studies, and we're going to focus on mammals. We've done fish, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and then our last vertebrate group that we're going to be talking about are the mammals here. All right. So, I don't know, is my audio working? I'm hoping my audio is working. Anyway, we're going to do mammals last, and we are going to probably spend the most amount of time on them because that's what we are, and that's what we tend to like to focus on, things that are similar to us. All right. Look here at some mammal phylogeny would be the right term for that. That was a mouthful. Um, but it looks at kind of the mammalian tree of life. All right, how things have broken apart and which things are more closely related to other things there. We're actually going to be going through these different mammalian orders, and we're going to have that's going to be a big part of our test coming up here. So that's for a different day, though. Some characteristics of mammals. Now, these are all ones that we should be familiar with. Okay, it should be things that we are growing up learning, but if not, that's okay. Some things that are unique about mammals is that mammals have hair. All right, so hair is this specialized structure that is found in mammals. It is a protein-based structure. It's not made of cells. It's not alive. It is a feature that we have. Some have very few, such as myself, has very little hair. But in general, mammals are going to have this hair structure. Number two is if I would like to focus on this a little bit more. We'll see how we're able to do that though, without being able to look at skulls and whatnot. But mammals have very specialized teeth. The rest of the vertebrates that we've talked about either don't have teeth. Think about mammals that are things that have beaks or fish or whatnot, or their teeth are almost all exactly the same. Okay, an alligator's tooth, alligator teeth are the same shape. Doesn't matter if they're in the back or the front. They're pretty much the same tool, whereas mammals have a wide variety of tools in our mouths, and there are different shapes and sizes. Quite the toolkit there. We are endothermic. We're warm-blooded. Okay, we share that with the birds. That just means that we regulate our own body temperature. It's not dictated by our environment. We're the ones that dictate it. Mammals have mammary glands, meaning that they produce milk for their offspring. They also have a placenta and give live birth. Most do. A common theme that we're going to be talking about mammals is of all the groups we've talked about, mammals pretty much put more resources into their young than the rest of the vertebrates do. I'm sure you could find some exceptions out there, but mammals are going to be right. They're going to have a small number of offspring, and then put tons of resources into those to make sure they survive. All right. And then lastly, we have a diaphragm that's a muscle that aids in breathing. So let's start off. Okay. Yeah. The evolution of mammals. If we were in person, we would spend a little more time on this. I have a really good video I like. Copyright, we can't share that. So I won't worry about that. Mammals did not come to dominate until the Cenozoic era after the dinosaurs became extinct. So essentially, once the dinosaurs died out, there's a hole in the ecological niches of Earth, and there was room for species to go into that role. And mammals, for the most part, were the ones that filled that role. All right. Teeth. Let's talk about teeth since we're in here. That's going to be, do I want to talk about teeth right now? I don't know if I want to talk about teeth. Let's talk about this instead. Okay, let's talk about other skull features. That's what our assignment's about today. So, yes, we have modified teeth that we're going to talk about a different day, but other skull features that mammals have. Some mammals, I shouldn't say all mammals, some mammals have antlers. These are going to be used for fighting members of their own species. So typically males fighting over females. It's made out of modified bony tissue, and then antlers are shed and regrown annually. Right. So deer in the wintertime, once they have mated and have gone their separate ways, they will shed their antlers and then regrow them in the spring. So antler tissue is one of the fastest growing tissues in the animal kingdom. because every year they're regrowing. Horns are very similar, only they're permanent. All right, so horns do not shed. That is a part of the animal forever. And then tusks might be used for similar things, but more often as a tool. And those are actually modified teeth. All right, so let's take a look at some of these mammalian traits here. There's a look at some antlers out of a nice bull elk. All right, so what's miraculous is that those are going to be shed every year and regrown. Maybe you've heard of antler sheds that people will go and search for, but there's a look at an antler. Here's a look at those antlers. They grow under this velvet tissue. Sorry, it's a little gross, but it's really, think of it as like dead skin coming off. So as they're growing, they're full covered by this skin-like tissue with all these blood vessels that just pump blood to these antlers so they can grow really fast. And then when it comes time for competing over females, then this extra outer layer of tissue will be shed and exposing the actual antler. Contrary to that are the horns that we see on the bighorn ram. Those are permanent. Okay, so that is going to be, that ram has those for life. If something were to be damaged or they lose those, they're not going to grow back. And then tusk. Here's a look at a walrus with those two giant tusks out there. Your assignment for the day is going to be a reading about those three different features and kind of how they're used and where we see them throughout. All right, so a little bit on antlers, horns, and tusks, starting off our mammal unit.